everyone, it's Miss Lee again, and we are back with LJM Storytime. Today's book is called The Best Sound in the World by Cindy Woom. Here we go. Roy was a little lion who lived in the big city. His favorite thing was music. Next door to Roy lived Jemmy, a lemur who liked music too. Whenever Roy played, Jemmy would be there, dancing, clapping, and singing along. It was very distracting for someone who was going to be a great musician. To be a famous musician, thought Roy, first I need to find beautiful sounds. So Roy spent hours listening for different noises and putting them in little bottles. But when he tried to copy the sounds on his violin, none of them sounded quite beautiful enough. Jemmy tried to find sounds too, but a great musician doesn't need any help. The next day, Roy set off on his own to find the most beautiful sound in the world. Roy went to the forest where he collected the plip-plop of the rain. Roy trekked the highest mountains where he collected the twitter-tweet of the birds. Roy went to the desert where he collected the woo of the whistling wind, took a rest by the sea where he found the splish-splash of the tide, and visited the souk at sunrise to catch the chitter-chatter of the market. Roy went everywhere, but the more he searched, the more confused he felt. Which was the most beautiful sound? He couldn't tell, and everyone he asked had a different answer. Roy became more and more lonely. So he decided to go home. When Roy got home, everything was the same. He still hadn't found the most beautiful sound in the world, and he was very sad. Not long after, there was a knock on the door. It was Jemmy, who tried hard to cheer him up. He played some tricks, but they weren't very funny. He did a silly dance, but it wasn't very silly. Then Jemmy asked Roy to play the sounds he collected on his journey. Slowly. Roy remembered the time he rode the camel in the woo of the wind. He remembered playing the plip-plop of the rain. As he remembered the splish-splash of the sea, he reached for his violin, but it wasn't there. Luckily, Jemmy had a surprise for Roy. As he took back his violin, Roy realized that Jemmy had been with him on every step of his journey. And thinking of his friend, Roy began to play. Now Roy and Jemmy collect noises together. In their shop, the people of the city come to find their favorite sounds. Sometimes Roy hears something that makes him want to play his violin. Jemmy is always there, dancing, clapping, and singing along. And it might not be the most beautiful, but for Roy, it's the best sound in the world. The end. And this book is called The Best Sound in the World by Cindy Woom. I really hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did, and I will see you next time at LJM Storytime. Bye! Do you know